Welcome to this video on Surah Ibrahim, or Chapter 14, based on the tafsir of Sayyid Abul A'la Maududi, exploring the roots of revelation. The title of this surah serves as a symbolic marker, not a biography of Ibrahim. It anchors the revelation in the legacy of the patriarch, highlighting the irony of the Quraysh violating the sanctuary that their ancestor established, as seen in verse 35. This surah belongs to the late Meccan period, revealed at a time of peak persecution for Muslims. It represents the spiritual darkness just before the migration. The disbelievers of Mecca had exhausted their intellectual arguments. Failing to counter the message with logic, they resorted to suppression. Stubbornness and enmity replaced discourse, and violence became the only language left. The crisis peaked with the ultimatum of the chiefs, demanding the messengers either accept apostasy or face exile, as stated in verse 13. "We will surely drive you out of our land, or you must return to our religion." The threat of expulsion is not unique to the Quraysh. It is a standard procedure of disbelief throughout history. When truth cannot be silenced by words, power threatens exile. Surah Ibrahim connects the struggle of the Meccan Muslims to the timeless struggle of all previous messengers. The divine rebuttal comes not as a compromise, but as a verdict. "We will surely destroy the wrongdoers," as decreed in verse 13. The threat of the tyrant is met with the decree of the Almighty. The divine decree continues with the assurance in verse 14, "And we will surely cause you to dwell in the land after them." This was the promise that the land from which the believers were expelled would eventually be their inheritance. The tone shifts from instruction and gentle persuasion in previous surahs to admonition in Surah Ibrahim. The time for explaining the basics was over, and the time for delivering the verdict had arrived, using warning, reproach, and rebuke. The warning increased because the hostility of the Quraysh grew deeper, hardening into active mischief and oppression. High crimes require a severe sentence, much like how the stiffness of rock requires the strike of a chisel. The invocation of Ibrahim is a powerful critique of the Quraysh. He prayed for Mecca to be a city of peace. By persecuting the believers, the Quraysh violated the sanctity of the city established for the worship of Allah alone. Surah Ibrahim has two objectives: to comfort the believers by reassuring them that the enemy's threats are hollow, and to warn the disbelievers that their plots will lead to their own destruction, just like the nations of the past. Surah Ibrahim is a testament to the hardest hours of the Meccan period. It teaches that when the world threatens to uproot the truth, Allah establishes it firmly. The believer is not the one who is expelled, but the one who inherits.